An unlawful gathering. This is an unlawful gathering. The truth is out there. The truth is out there. This is the underground. This is new media. This is the underground. This is new media. Range ambassador for what's the critical thinking hangar. Range ambassador for what's the critical thinking hangar.
And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers. And now here is the starting lineup for the New York Rangers.
This is New York Rangers hockey. 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 This is New York Rangers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the one and only Blueshirt Underground Show with Jim and Eddie. Of course, I am Jim. Today is Monday. It is July 1st, 2019. And as we have done every year now for 11 years, it is our free agency frenzy. What a day. What a day. What a day. Eddie on the other side of the glass. Eddie, good evening. The rebuild is over.
Oh, we have jumped from rebuild to playoffs. Here we come. The expectations have changed. The Rangers have changed. It's all for the better, folks. We are going onwards and upwards. Give me the cup. 2 years, 3 years, we got this.
That's right.
We just got to find a goalie, a couple D-men.
Consider us rebuilt.
That's right. Here we go. Panarin. Here we go. Now we will win the cup. I'm telling you what's up. Panarin is a god. Sorry about that if I hurt anybody's ears. Hey, Coast, shut up.
Artemi, Artemi scores the Rangers goals.
Oh, baby, they dished out the Fishnagels. And he took a discount. People
All of a sudden, the Rangers get the discounts. How did that happen?
Listen, it's a new era. We moved up from 6th to 2nd in the draft. It's all gravy. It's all the luck has changed.
We used to have to pay Bobby Holik 12 times what he was worth to get him to come to New York. Now they're lining up. They're taking discounts. Showing up with food stamps and WIC checks. Giving free Obama cell phone.
I want to play here.
It's Bernie Sanders. Free stuff.
Free everything.
Free everything.
Oh, boy. Let me tell you. This is an exciting.
You got to start right in on Shattenkirk.
Oh, yes. Shattenkirk's a whole different kind of player.
Right.
Shattenkirk was a guy that we knew wasn't going to be a game changer. Not every team in the league that could afford so was wooing him, entertaining him. The Columbus Blue Jackets with a late-night offer wanted to retain Panarin. He said, nah.
That Yarko Image, whoever their GM is, trying to sneak in at midnight like Batman, coming in with money, with a bag of money, and Artemi said, nah. I'm over here now. I was over there, and now I'm over here now. I knew that. The Costa would laugh. I knew that would get Costa laughing.
Yeah. And then you got the Islanders trying to get him. That was the biggest joke. They took him over to that car showroom at Barclays. He took a look at this and said, nah, I'd rather play in Kiev than play in this place. So he was like,
the only thing that would have made the day better as far as all that Islander bullshit was concerned is if Anders Lee had told them to shove it up their ass after he was there. I'm nobody's plan B. That's what he should have said. I'm nobody's backup.
That's true.
I'm nobody's 2 a.m. girl.
Meanwhile, he's their captain. They treated him very well. I'm sure he would pay them in dividends. But it's a happy day. I mean, listen, the Rangers got some really nice wingers. Listen, a lot of these guys haven't played a freaking minute of regulation hockey. So there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be additions. There's going to be subtractions. We're going to temper. We're going to try to temper expectations. But now you have a legit player on this team that's coming here, that wants to play here, that's not just like some kind of Ranger, just on the Rangers' radar. And he's going to have some help. Me and Jim were talking about this before the show. Gaborik, to a degree, well, Gaborik had no help when he was here.
Does anybody remember? And I know Nick Tertilli's here, so I know Nick can answer this question. Could somebody tell me who Marian Gaborik center was?
Dubitsky.
Eric Christensen.
I mean, and the other big signing, Dick Rash, also known as Nick Rash, or Rick Nash, was a bust. But again,
a playoff bust, at least.
A playoff bust. And now you're looking at a legit guy, and you're spending the money, and I think they're going to figure it out. At this point, I'd like to see Chris Kreider as a Ranger. If he's a second line of Chris Kreider, that looks pretty good. But you were talking about the plethora of left wings now. But still, they got to get Trouba signed as well. So they got to take care of that matter. But I leave that to the financial wizards that they pay at MSG to cook the books, whatever they got to do to get Artemi Panarin in this freaking building.
Costa's our capologist. He's the one that worries about money.
Oh, God.
We don't worry about money.
Why do I care about money? I don't care about the Rangers' money.
Bag of shells.
Yeah, bag of shells. We got unlimited cash. Now you got it all.
And you know what? This actually just kind of popped into my head. Maybe Don LaGreca's right. Maybe Jim Dolan does give more of a shit about his hockey team than his basketball team. His basketball team didn't spend any money, but boy, we had it. We had it, and it went just as fast.
Oh yeah, we had cap room for like 2 months. We had like cap room for 3 months, and it was like, no, we got to get back in this.
I got to get in there.
How could you not like this? This summer has been awesome. Adam Fox, you got Capo Caco, you got who else we got? Rykov. Who else we get? Who? That was last year. That was last year.
Yeah, but he's coming this year.
He's coming this year, yes. I mean, you got Shesterkin. You got who else we get? Did we get Ovechkin too?
Yes.
We got Ovechkin. Oh no, we're paying him too much money. That's what he costs. Oh, he won't be able to take it. Listen,
a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, guys. That's for the money. Listen, the Rangers have had a perfect offseason. The rebuild is now being termed as a build by the organization. And now I think, even with my tempered expectations, I think the Rangers, if they somehow can get Henrik Lundqvist back on track, which I know you totally think is not a possibility, and can,
say that.
All right, okay. I'm just saying.
I'm not planning.
And can play some defense. Now, I did have a little bit, Jim. I did have on that Fakakta Sportsnet broadcast, we'll get into in a second. If you were following the draft and weren't able to see the crack coverage that TSN was doing, which was great, I got stuck with Sportsnet via the NHL Network, and it was horrible. Right. And then they went through the centers on the Rangers, and then I said, oh, shit. I was like, Ryan Strom's our second center. And I was like, oh. But then you got Hedel and you got Howden. But I think you got to give Elias Anderson another chance, a crack. We drafted two centers 2 drafts ago, three drafts ago, 2 drafts.
Right.
So we did that. We need those guys to mature. They're only 19. Not giving up on them yet. So the Rangers got some. They got some pieces. I mean, and I think and Jacob Trouba, they added him too. I mean, this is it's a banner off season. Be excited. Holy Jesus. The Tim Gettingers and the Rob O'Gara. I don't have to see these guys anymore. This is let's get into it.
I was thinking about this today, and my good friend Nick Tertilli, who's a listener to the show, and he's in the chat room. He was against the Panarin thing, and I think most people that are against the Panarin thing, it's because of history. Free agents, Rangers haven't bowled well, but here was kind of what I put together. Oh, and let me read this to you real quick. I got some stuff here. Since 1990-91, Artemi Panarin is one of only 4 NHL players who have tallied at least 74 points in each of their first 4 seasons in the league. The other 3 were Sergei Fedorov. He wasn't bad. He won a couple 2-3 cups. Evgeny Malkin, he's not bad. And Alex Ovechkin. That's not bad company, right?
But see, all right, everybody's saying about the center position. Well, I think Hedel had a pretty good. I know he played a lot of left wing too last year. But he drafted primarily as a center. So you got a second line center, I think, there. You got to look at your third line center right now. Yeah, you can't get it all in one fell swoop. If Elias Anderson can somehow reboot and be the player, he could be. Yes, I know everybody's not going to be good, but I don't.
I think Anderson's going to spend a big chunk of this season in Hartford.
If that's what he needs to do, he needs to do. Again, it's a build. Not everybody has the luxury of having depth in every position.
And don't think they're done yet. It's just July. It's only July 1st. This is one day. Today's the frenzy, but there's plenty of moves yet to come. Now, there's been a rumor floating around, Eddie, and I don't know if you've heard this.
Oh, I've heard it. I couldn't find any substantiation on it, though.
It's been floated a few places. What is Joe Catrone? Joe Catrone's making faces at me in the window here. Just rumors of a possible return of one of the most popular centers in New York Rangers history. Big fan favorite on this broadcast. Brian fucking Boyle to come back as a veteran presence. Look at Joe Catrone. He's holding up pictures of Brian Boyle on his phone as a veteran presence for a young team.
That part I get. I have no idea where Brian Boyle's game is at this point. He was a fourth-line center 5 years ago.
The Rangers would sign Brian Boyle just to remind me that they are the Rangers and that nothing comes easy.
I don't know. I don't see it as a good fit. I don't know. I don't see it as a good fit. Veteran. Well, from that press conference, they think that Panarin can bring some veteran leadership to some of these Russians, or Rushkis, as we used to call them in the old days.
Joe Catrone just continues to show me pictures of Brian Boyle. Show me the one where he's falling down, where he's on his flat on his face, or getting beat up by a guy six inches smaller than him. Yeah.
Yes. Let's hope the rumors aren't true. God bless Brian Boyle, but don't curse this uniform again.
Now he's got the devil stink on him.
Yes. So no, I let him go to the Islanders because Lou Lamoriello is such a genius. Oh, go ahead.
Now, I did want to kind of, because when we had discussed it previously, I was against signing Artemi Panarin.
Mm-hmm.
But there were a couple of things that changed my mind. First of all, after I saw the other moves that they made, getting Kako and with Kravtsov apparently coming along, they had a chance to get an elite guy here in his prime who's only got a couple of years in the league. So, I was okay with them getting. I would have been okay if they didn't get him. But then once I heard the Islanders were involved, then I became Captain Ahab. I absolutely had to have this guy. There was no way I was gonna stand for him going to the Islanders. I just wouldn't have been able to. There would have been no show tonight. There might have been no show for a month.
Well,
once I heard the Islanders were interested, that was it. I was Captain Ahab, and Artemi Panarin was the white whale.
Yes. I certainly think that I really think the Islanders even had a shot. They were talking about package deals, him and Bobrovsky going there. That's just not an attractive place to play. So, we're getting a new building. Oh yeah, where is it? It's at a racetrack. Like it can't. Madison Square Garden. That was the big selling point with Panarin. He really wanted. JD said he wanted to play in a big place. He wanted to play in a big city in a major market. You can't get any bigger than New York City. I mean, it just. And
he wanted to play in New York specifically for the Rangers.
Right. Now, I know somebody brought up Shattenhurt before. That's, it's a different situation. This is a big ticket free agent who could have went to Florida, right? And gone, we all tax-free, money. He's going to the Putty Cats. He's going to the Putty Cats. He's going to the Putty Cats.
He's going to Florida.
No, he does. He's got to say the Putty Cats. You can't say
Putty
Florida.
Cats.
The Putty Cats. That's the Putty Cats. He's going to know. He came to the New York Rangers. The flagship 5-cup winning team of the NHL. He came to us for New York to wear the red, white, and blue. Well, he was wearing that in Columbus too, but still.
It's not the same.
It's not the same. And it saddens me, though, to report. And I know you Ranger fans, you shat all over him. Oh, but young Jimmy Vesey, with the biggest body and the smallest head, has now become a Buffalo Sabre. Oh, the irony. A team he once spurned. He goes back in exchange for a third rounder in the 2021 draft. And I believe that this was, I liked Jimmy Vesey. We've had this discussion.
I did.
A lot of Ranger fans did not like him. And I could see why you would not like him, because how do you define Jimmy Vesey? Is he a scorer? No. Is he gritty? No. Is he a playmaker? No. He's not especially good on the power play. He's not really, doesn't finish all that well. But he still managed to get you 15, 16 goals. I felt like under Quinn's tutelage, he was heading to the net a little bit more, because he's a tall guy. We always think of him as small, but he's 6'3"-ish. But I guess they had to dump what salary they have to squeeze Panarin in, and he was expendable. I don't know how you guys feel about him. I thought he was decent. You couldn't – these guys that are hyped up with all the scouts, you can't expect them to come in. And I don't know. I was just glad. I felt like he gave 100%. He did ride the pine a couple times under Quinn last year. But he was expendable. And if it makes room for the bread man, I'm all for it. I think he was worth a little bit more than a third rounder. But I think Buffalo had given up a couple second-round picks previous, and I think the Rangers were just desperate to get Panarin signed, and they were just like, all right, third rounder. So
yeah, and again, Jimmy Vesey, another left wing. I mean,
right.
you can't just put a team out there with 65 defensemen and 42 left wingers. We got to have we got to spread them around a little bit. I just think it's ironic that Mike Harrington now has to cover a player he called overrated and all those other things. And now today,
He's a jerk off.
I looked at his Twitter. He was kissing his ass.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great deal. Got him for a third rounder. But you fucking phony.
Mike Harrington is the beat writer for the Sabres. Imagine that job. For I don't know, the Buffalo Sentinel or whatever they freaking call that up there, the Sabres Journal or whatever. And we got into a whole Twitter fight about VZ, and he was saying, "Oh,
big trade just went down."
Oh, what? Give it to me. Hit me live.
The Toronto Maple Leafs have acquired defenseman Tyson Barrie, Alex Kerfoot, and a 2026 round pick from the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for forward Nazem Kadri, defenseman Kali Rosen, and Toronto's 2020 third round pick. Colorado is retaining 50% of Barry's annual average salary cap.
That's a steal for the Leafs.
$5.5 million.
The Leafs.
That Kerfoot, Alex Kerfoot, the Rangers were interested in him.
He's not a bad player. And I will say that the Leafs, who are El Desperado for defensemen, got a pretty good defenseman in Barry, who's he's an offensive defenseman. He's just what you want nowadays. I really like that trade. Nazem Kadri, I think he's a 2010, 2009 draft pick, whatever.
I think he was 2009, right? I think he was in the Kreider draft, if I'm not mistaken.
He's a good player, but I believe that his days were waning. He was mentioned in a lot of trades, and they were really killing the Leafs on that's Rogers Sportsnet catastrophe about getting Jason Spezza. $700,000. They were killing that. They had to have the guy on.
Trying to play an up tempo game. What are they? I don't know what they're thinking.
Yeah, and then they have to have him on as a guest. They just trashed him for a half hour.
Right.
So Jason, what do you think about the deal? I was like, so, and they're like, they're saying he's not a two-way player and this and that. He plays one side of the.
He was drafted 7th overall in the 2009 draft by the Toronto Maple Leafs.
I mean, he's a good player. He's decent. I also, Jeff, I will agree with you here. The Leafs got Cody Ceci from Ottawa, and he's decent too. So, he's not a superstar by any stretch, but he's steady. So, Spezza, I don't know if Spezza got bought out with Dallas. Dallas also made a lot of moves today. They've got Joe Pavelski now and Corey Perry.
And they bid farewell to Matt Zuccarello,
who's now part of the Minnesota Wild. So all you Zuccarello fans can go follow and watch the Minnesota games on the package, because I didn't want Matt Zuccarello back on the Rangers. We had these guys. We made our push. The push in the bush. I don't like it. They didn't make it. They didn't do it. So I don't want those guys back. And I also don't want Matt Zuccarello for 5 years, and I got to deal with him at 36. I thought his money was okay, but we're moving forward.
I honestly didn't even see it. What did he get money wise?
That's 6 years, $5 million. That means 6
years.
No, wait. 5 years, $6 million.
What was he making with the Rangers? Do you remember? 4.5?
4.5, maybe.
He had a pretty team friendly contract, if I remember correctly.
Yes. So I certainly, I bid you adieu. I wish you the best, but I don't want you on the Rangers. The Rangers are a young team. They're going the young route. They're building. I don't want older players on this team unless it's a real legit vet who's been there. Brian Boyle to me has played a lot of playoff hockey. I mean, I give him that. I mean, but he's certainly somebody I wouldn't want to see in a Ranger uniform. So Jimmy Vesey is gone.
Costa reporting that MZA gets a full no move clause. Costa loves those.
Oh, yes. I thought of him when I saw Bobrovsky go to Florida, and Bobrovsky
Putty
got
Cats.
the Putty Cats. Sorry, thank you. The Putty Cats, and got $10 million a year. What do you get? Like a 7-year deal in the first 5, or no movement clause?
Wow.
There was an actual DB Mavis reporting there was an Aho offer sheet. Was that actual?
Yes. Montreal made him an offer. I don't have it in front of me, but I can probably pull it up here. I'm assuming the Canes are going to match it because they were kind of the Hurricanes Twitter account was kind of joking about it, so it sounded like they're not too worried about it. 5-year deal. They tendered an offer sheet worth 5 years and $42.27 million. Aho has signed the offer sheet, so the Hurricanes will have 1 week to match or let their 21-year-old leading scorer slip away to Montreal. If they let him leave, the Hurricanes would receive a first, second, and third round pick in the 2020 NHL draft. Now, that's not enough to get back for him. So, yeah, you pretty much got to match that deal, right?
Yes, I think that's well within being matched. So I'm seeing Luciano Gionardo says Montreal is desperate. Yes, Montreal is very desperate at this point. So yeah, I mean, you get, and then your favorite, one of the guys that during the 2 years of the Sahara Desert of the New York Rangers that we've experienced, John Gilmore has found a new home.
Johnny Gilmore.
We hardly knew you, and I'm glad you're gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
went to I'm just kind of scanning the free agent signing list here. One of Sam Rosen's favorites signed with the Arizona Coyotes today.
Who?
Bo Bennett. Bo Bennett.
Bo Bennett. And was that Patrick Brown? Patrick Brown to the Vegas Knights.
Yes.
Two of our famous
Brandon Disappeary signs with the Vegas Golden Knights.
Good for him. He keeps hanging on, that dude.
Right. A couple other names I saw. Oh, Curtis McElhaney signed with Tampa.
That guy's a sieve. It's terrible, that goalie.
Valtteri Filipula goes back to Detroit. And how about the Islanders? They let Lehner walk. He goes to Chicago on a 1-year deal for $5 million, and the Islanders give 4 years to Semyon Varlamov.
Yeah, let me tell you about this. Well, thank you for this wonderful setup.
I love it.
All I hear is that E.J. Radick talking about Lou Lamoriello's a genius, and it's like the Paulie D show. He's juggling the plates. He's working all the different rails and the trains and the train yard. He's got this master plan. They did you guts. They got nothing. They lost Lehner, who's definitely won't suffer from depression now because now he's out of Long Island. He'll never have a relapse. All right? They bring in this Varlamov, who's hurt all the time. He may be hurt just taking the plane over to freaking the Barclays, what do they call it? The Barclays Auto Show and Racetrack Casino over there. Then you got the Anders Lee is like he's hung out to dry. They don't sign him right away. It's like you said, right? They made him wait, and he's their captain. And until
right, but he's Plan B.
He's Plan B, right?
There's no way they were signing him if they got Panarin. No way. There's no money there's no money out there.
No. There's no prestige in playing with the Islanders, the first round Stanley Cup champions of the NHL last year. Oh, Lou. What has that guy won in the last 30 years? Nothing. He's 77. or some shit like that. He's too old. Oh, Lou. I know the Islanders were more relevant last year. It's basically because they brought Barry Trotz in and they played defense. They couldn't score worth a shit. And what'd they bring in? What have they done this season, in this offseason? Does anybody know? Nobody knows. So I don't want to hear about Lou Lamoriello anymore.
Right.
I'm done with him. Stop lauding this guy. Ugh.
Tyler Myers got 5 years from Vancouver.
I thought his like six. You're getting paid $6 million.
$6 million a year. Luke Shen signs with the Lightning. Matt Duchene signed with the Preds.
That was a guy I think Ranger fans were interested in, Matt Duchene, but it was pretty much locked that he was going to the Preds.
Mike Smith, he goes to Edmonton, while Cameron Jeroboa Talbot goes to the Calgary Flames.
All right, really, he's becoming like now. It's like the Cam Talbot Road Show. Where is he this week? I mean,
he just have like he's like a medicine man.
Yeah, he's in a different town in every city every freaking week. I mean, come on, buddy.
Well, his contract was expiring. He got traded to Philadelphia, and I mean that's a goaltender wasteland. Nobody thrives there.
By the way, I've been corrected by Xavier, who was
Savoir-faire
over here, who said Joe Lou is only 75 and 8 months old. Joe, very good.
Oh, he's only 74. Joe,
I like the comedy chops.
So he's 10 years younger than Sam. Big deal.
Yeah. Yeah, it's true. It was a lot of signings. I mean, and I actually kept up with them for the most part. Took some of the lame other ones, the smaller ones. I was all over it today. I was very excited. When I woke up, I said to myself, I was like 37, 30%, 70% that we were going to get Panarin. I was not hopeful. I knew he wasn't going to the Islanders, but I figured maybe the Panthers or the Devil Dogs or something. But then the Dogs.
The word last night, I mean, they made it sound yesterday like the Islanders had the inside track, but then the word came down late last night that the Rangers thought they were still in it. They weren't convinced, and I guess I don't know. Maybe that was just bullshit. The whole Islander thing. I can't imagine why this guy would want to play.
What did Larry Brooks say? What was the last from Dancing Larry?
I don't know. Just what did we say on the last show? That's what Larry Brooks says. Whatever we said last show. I don't know. Larry Brooks talked to Steve Cornianos, I guess. And
I mean, really, seriously, folks, if you, we're not tooting our own horn, man. I swear to God, what you people say in this chat room and what we talk about on this video winds up in his columns. It makes it so easy for him. You can bring up a topic. You can see where to test the temperature of the fans, what the fans think. We're writing his whole freaking column. I've seen it 100 times. If I've seen it, and people say, "Oh, well, it's kind of common." No, it's not. Trust me. And then who else is ripping us off? Anthony Cumia is ripping us off. No, I'm only kidding. This is like not some kind of radio wars, but it's this is. It's a grand time to be a Ranger fan. So you people, and I know there's going to be some blowback from a couple of our regulars, Coast of the Crazy Greek, who I'm sure will be on the video very soon. I know Jason Patrick, a.k.a. Jay of the Dead, was dead set against this. He was worried about the playing time that Panarin will take away from some of the youngsters. But now Vesey is gone. So maybe that'll alleviate his worries. We will see.
Maybe.
The Rangers is really a good time. I'm so excited. You guys got to be excited. Whether it turns into a total shit show and everybody's a bust, I'm excited going into the season. I'm more excited for a lot of the people who watch this show and have participated for years are season ticket holders. And now you won't be trying to sell off your tickets the whole season. Like the last 2 years, these people took a bath. But get ready for your
this
ticket
isn't
prices to go up next year, though. Get ready.
exactly. This isn't like previous forays into the free agent signings like Marion Gaborik and to a certain extent Rick Nash, and where they brought one guy in, one free agent, one big splash, and he was relied on to do everything. For years, people have been screaming they don't have any elite talent. They don't have any elite talent. Well, now there is the potential to have 3 elite wingers. And, Zibanejad is close to that level. At least we seem to think he is.
I think he's a number one center. I don't think he's elite. I think he's a number one center.
I mean, we've got 3 or 4 players on this team potentially. If Kakko pans out and Kravtsov pans out, if these guys do what we think they're going to do, this team's going to be loaded like no Ranger team we've ever seen with young talent. None of you in your lifetime have seen a team with this kind of potential.
I agree.
Maybe DB Maven. He's a little older. He can go back to the. He goes back to the
when Dale Rolfe was
Dale
Rolfe was a rookie.
But I think he goes back to Rattel and Gilbert when they were young. But certainly nobody born after 1968 or 69 has seen anything like this.
No, this is exciting, and you cannot. I mean, he already. And again, this guy we're not even talking about, like Adam Fox. This guy is probably going to be on the opening night roster. He's going to probably play, and and Jacob Trouba, this guy, is going to play big time minutes. He's going to play a lot of minutes. He's going to be relied on heavy. He's going to play more minutes than he played in Winnipeg because they had Bufflin or whatever they were having back there. I think he's going to be a great asset to this team, and one less leak in that defense. He's going to be probably. I'm already projecting he's going to be as good as Ryan McDonough was for us for so many years before the injuries and and all that stuff. And Ryan McDonough is still a hell of a defenseman, but we could see the decline of him a little bit, and it's they just needed and these guys are all new to each other. They're all going to go through the wars together, and I think they're going to listen. I really, and I see somebody mentioned they need a tough guy. They have Lemieux. That guy, to me, was one of the bright spots of last year. He's the guy who was sticking up for teammates. He was instigating. We all remember him chirping to the other team. You need a guy like that. You need at least one guy, and he could put the puck in the net. So, I mean,
he's another left wing.
Oh, jeez.
Got a lot of them.
So, yeah. I mean, the Rangers' interesting part, though, will be, can Quinn make the adjustment of having a yeoman lunch pail type of team to a team that has skill, and how he manages that? Because last year was basically an effort test. If you don't show the effort, you don't play. Now, when you get guys that you've invested first round picks with, guys now you're paying $12 million with, do you still apply that kind of criteria and that kind of overseeing of the team, or do you go a different way? But the coach is young too. We have a GM. Let me, and I think Jim's going to play a little bit of the clip of the conference call.
Yes,
it was so refreshing to hear JD, the president, answering questions and so knowledgeable about players and the process, and so eloquent, rather than hearing that curmudgeon old, Yeah, that's that old muppet with a cigar hanging out his mouth, grumbling and mumbling and generalizations, and then handing it over to Gorton, and then
Right.
Gorton has to explain what really happened, And both of them together, it was so like, wow, this is really how it works. And JD's just got such an affable, like, I don't know, he's just he's a real nice guy. Like, you could tell. And it just was, information was being transmitted to us. And they were allowing questions. Did you notice that in that conference call, Gorton knew it was over the phone. Gorton knew by the voice who the reporter was. I could guarantee, yes. He said Carp or Carpy, or he was calling it. Now, I could guarantee that if that was Sather was on that call, he would know who was who.
He would have been like Rum Greshner. Kenny?
Kenny? Jerry Eskenazi.
Right. Jerry Eskenazi, you're on the air.
Yeah.
Frank Brown, you're on the air.
Frank Brown. Phil Pepe.
Dick Young, you're up next.
Michael's mentioning that Dan Rosen. He wasn't bad. We got to try to get him on the show. He was on the NHL Network with the EJ Raddick, who's a piece of garbage as far as I'm concerned. Even though he was on this show. Now, you know what it is? He's so anti-Ranger because that stupid yearbook.
An Islander fan, right? Because of the yearbook.
Yeah. But you want to play this thing?
Well, Costa is chomping at the bit to come on and rant.
All right.
The clip is 4 minutes. So why don't we talk to Costa? We'll play the clip. Then we got Joe and Steve both waiting to come on too. Steve Vogel.
Oh, Steve Vogel. Okay.
All right. So hang in there, guys. Let's bring Costa on, and I'm going to refill my drink while Costa's ranting. Oh, where did he go? Costa? Where'd you go? He's gone.
All right. Well,
why did he do that?
I don't know. Go with the 4 minute thing now. We do information before our whack pack.
All right, hang on. I gotta. JD Gorts share. Be live host. Broadcast. Unmute. Look at me getting stuff done. All right, here we go.
The team has been plenty active here since the end of the season, and obviously this a big one. Can you just generally say why this kind of commitment for this level of player makes good sense for your club, and what this kind of acquisition means for you?
Well, thanks for the question. It's John here. I think that I've gotten here, obviously, in June. The rebuild, or I term build, is well underway here, and I think everything that's been done it has really been to the advantage of building on the build. With this summer, since the season's ended, you think of the ad of Jacob Trouba, 25-year-old defenseman. Go back to Adam Fox, 21-year-old defenseman. The draft of Capo Caco, 18 years old. Kratzoff is now 19 years old from last year's draft, amongst many other young players. When you add a person like Panarin to it, he's only 27 years of age. He's averaged 80 points over the last 4 seasons that he's played in the NHL. He's a healthy body. We know he wants to be here in New York, specifically with the Rangers. It's a perfect fit. The idea of a build is to go through the time-consuming draft, get picks, and Jeff really did a good job. He and his staff of gathering picks. Then you go through the draft, then you go through the development, and as you do this, you try to do your best to find ways to make it all happen even quicker and better. And with these types of things I talked about, it's all falling into place. I'm ecstatic about getting Panarin here to join this group, and I think he falls right into our plan.
Thank you, guys. And quickly, just second, John, this is obviously a player you know from back when you were in Columbus. For him, the meeting that you had last week, his visit, do you get a sense of, obviously, must have gone pretty well, but what kind of factor that was in essentially winning him over to commit here?
That goes two ways. I think he's always wanted to, and he's made it very vocal that he's always wanted to be in a big city, and there's no bigger city than New York. He in messaging with us, talking to us, talked about how he wants to win. He actually talked about Mark Messier and what Mark Messier did with the Rangers to get into the winning part of the business. And I think on the other side, I'll let Jeff answer this. I knew Artem very, very well, but our people here knew him as a player, but didn't know him as a person. And I think, Jeff, you can talk about that. What type of feelings you got after chatting and getting to know Artem?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had a great visit with him when he came in, and right away you can sense his enthusiasm for the Rangers, for the big city, for the big stage. So, his knowledge of the game, his knowledge of our team, it all shined right through, and right away for everybody in the room, it was pretty exciting to hear some of the things he had to say.
A couple of questions. One, there's been a lot made of Artemi taking less today than he might have gotten from other teams. Did you guys have to draw a line, like how high you were willing to go, or was this a player you were going to get?
Yeah, I think we had to draw a line, Carpy. I think with all players in the market, you you go in knowing what the cost might be. Things happen, and you make your decisions. But certainly you have to draw a line. But obviously a player we coveted, wanted, and happy with the result.
And if I could follow up that.
There you go.
No, you can't follow that up, Carp. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, Carp. We got to make amends.
Carpy?
You're going to have to make amends with Carp.
I did.
Why do you want to come on the show now?
I know. I haven't asked him.
All right.
I haven't asked him.
We were too quick to call him a shill for MSG.
And now he's not anymore. Now he's with the Athletic.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right. So
no, I mean, I apologized to him. I told him we were just ranting and raving and we got carried away. And I said we were sorry. And he said, okay, that's, no problem. And I've conversed with him a little on Twitter since.
All right. He was a good guy. We always laughed.
He still is.
Yeah. All right.
Oh, he goes on Blueshirt's breakaway sometimes. Oh, all right.
Oh, really?
For him.
There's another podcast out
for
there?
him.
By the way, all these other podcasts.
Everybody with a laptop has got a podcast nowadays.
All these other podcasts are shitty. They're terrible. I mean, Stephen Fugel's got a podcast. They're talking prospects. They know what they're talking about. That's fine. I endorse them. But these other ones, that Blueshirt banter, they took the freaking summer off. We're done. Fortunato's out there with his big mom pants, hanging out. And, what is he doing? That Blueshirt banter sucks. Terrible. It's true. Peter J. Fox is right. Other Ranger podcasts are irrelevant. We're doing video. What are those people doing? Internet radio? What is this, 1968? I mean, come on, they're on radio.
Right. What is this, 1968?
What is this? What is this, 1935, 1940? The Shadow knows. I mean, come on.
You listen to Jack Benny over there?
Yeah.
Get with the times.
Video killed the radio star. You're watching it live.
Let's be honest. Not all these other podcasts are as handsome as us are going to get on TV here.
I think the bigger issue is that we don't give a fuck what we look like and we don't care. Whereas those guys are probably like, boy, I don't really want to see my expressions, or Fortunatos will want people see him fall asleep during a broadcast.
By the way, I would just like to mention, speaking of people watching us, and I hope you guys are enjoying the show. We had at one point a few minutes ago, we were up to 45 live viewers, which may not sound like a lot, but it's the most we've had since we started doing videos. So that's good.
Yeah, it may sound like, oh boy, that isn't much, but it really is, because that means 45 people have taken the time out of their day to interact in the chat room and talk to us. And right. I've seen some, I was laughing some of the freaking posts that were flying by my my screen over here while the audio was playing. People just make cracking jokes. Thank you, Peter J. Fox's wife. Thank you for that compliment. I'm not so sure about it, but hey, I'm living the dream wearing this ridiculous beard. Somebody said something about about the gray beard that Frazier and Keith Hernandez, the Just for Men or whatever that thing is, the Get Away the Gray or some shit like that. So I love it. I really like the video. I mean, anything I can do more shtick with. And like you said, now we're on YouTube. Please go to our YouTube channel.
Thank you for setting that up, by the way, after I said for months that I would do it, and I just hadn't gotten around to it.
I think you got enough things. I figured I'll do something, and I got it. Yeah, I'll do something for a change. And so I set it up, and I have a couple. So it's I still have to get the banner right, but I believe that Joe to get it. We need you to subscribe to this channel right now. I think presently we have 35 subscribers, which is, come on, we could do much
already.
Better. Already, yeah.
Not bad, though. You just started it yesterday, right?
Yeah, that's true. Costa just signed up. I just got a message. Costa signed up. The link is in the Facebook page. It's an actual announcement right at the top. Yeah, I'm gonna post those Ranger Crisis videos, and we got some. I'm gonna help Jim out if he's got some old videos. What I'm thinking about doing, which is crazy, which is sick. Can I say sick, Jim? That if you people are into the classic Ranger videos, if you become a Patreon member, I am going to link in the Undergrounders a private link to some classic games.
Ooh.
So if you become a Patreon member, you go to the Undergrounders. It'll be in on our YouTube channel, but it'll be a private link that you will only be able to see and get to, unless you say, "Hey, guess what? So and so, here's a link. You could share it with your friend." I don't really care, but as an extra bonus. So you want to see games? I got games as late as the late 50s, 60s, 70s, a chunk load of the 70s, and early 80s, up to about 85. And they're in their entirety. A lot of them are JD. I mean, a lot of them feature JD, Chadwick, Gordon, Rosen, Esposito,
Eddie,
and
Eddie.
So you can't find that anywhere on the internet. They're not posted.
Right.
You got half a game, you quarter of a game. These are the original broadcasts. So if you're if you're a Patreon, I'm going to throw that in because I kind of been slacking with my end of that. Jim does recaps of each game. So if you become a Patreon, what is it, $1 a month? You just have to do $1 a month. That's $12. I mean, you're never going to miss it. You want to do $5? You love this broadcast. I feel like I'm doing like a Channel 13 thing now. But,
That's fine.
We do these viewing parties, and it's a community, and we're not making millions of dollars here. It's something we do. So
I'm posting the link to the YouTube channel as we speak in the chat room.
Well, great, because that to me is actually is really important, because if that channel gets so many subscribers, and we have almost 2,000 in the Facebook group,
right?
The fact this could really launch into like something really big, and that's what I want. I've always told, because we've always had a hard time trying to get the word out about this show, because a lot of people in my demographic, and even in Jim's demographic, and even over 35-ish, you say, "How do I get to this show?" You got to go to Blog Talk Radio. You got to sign up. What's internet radio? Everybody knows how to use YouTube. My father is 81. He watches YouTube. You just have to say, go to the Blueshirt Underground show, and bam, you're there. So when people see it, a lot of people subscribed, they're more interested in joining. I know it for a fact. I had a pretty good success with my Ranger Crisis show in the infancy of the thing. And, we were approaching almost 1 million listens on our Blog Talk show. But I think people are more interested. I like the fact, because I'm going off a little on a non-hockey tangent here, but it's relevant to the broadcast, is that I have become an addict to heroin. No, I'm only kidding. I've become an addict.
Again?
I wish I had heroin. I'd probably lose some weight. I want to be heroin chic. But I think
Scott Weiland?
Yes. Well, I don't want to end up like Scott Weiland.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying, though. The thing is that I watch a lot of these podcasts now on my smart TV. Like, I watch the Joe Rogan podcast. Jeff Ross has got a really good one where he just, it's so irreverent. And so I just watch these podcasts, and I sit there at my TV. I no fooling around with no internet and whatever. You just sit there. And I think it's really become a big thing, especially for us older folks who don't like to leave the couch, watch our programs. And I mean, listen,
I'm watching my stories.
I'm watching my stories. So this is the time to subscribe. And with the season coming up, it's going to be exciting, man. And you're going to see a lot of people come forward. And you're not getting this from anybody else. Nobody else. We're the only people. Me, Jim, and you guys are the only one talking real Ranger hockey. And this is a special group. These guys. I mean, we laugh, we have fun, we're irreverent. We're never going.
We're up to 41 subscribers already.
That's 6 in this broadcast.
Look at you.
So you're never gonna.
Done.
We're friends. That's what it is. We're all friends. You go to these viewing parties, folks. I'm telling you, I consider all of them friends. I mean, some a little wacky, but hey, listen, I'm into wacky friends. I am a wacky guy. So enough of this bullshit. Let's get back to Ranger hockey.
All right. Let's talk to Steve Vogel. Let's bring him in.
Steven Vogel.
And there he is. What's up, Steve?
Hi, man. Good
Panarin, baby.
Panarin Day. It's finally here. Yes. It's
excited.
Look, before today, I already said that this offseason couldn't get any better, and Jeff Gorton did it again. It's like Christmas.
Right.
It's like seven weeks of Christmas. Every week there's another gift you can open. It's unbelievable.
It's like if I had a wish list before the summer began, it got all filled.
It's almost as if Jeff Gorton is playing a video game on easy mode.
Yeah.
This is just unbelievable. And I don't think maybe Gaborik is the closest I can think of that we got as a free agent in the last 15, 20 years. But I think Panarin right now is better than Gaborik was 10 years ago. I think he's well worth the money that we're paying him. And if someone would have told me on April 1st we were going to spend $11.6 million on a free agent, I would have been livid. But now, after winning the draft lottery, trading for Trouba, trading for Fox, signing Kravtsov, drafting Kakko, I'm okay with it.
I think there are a lot of teams that are very envious about the Rangers and what they've been able to pull off.
It's probably going to be the shortest rebuild in league history because some teams don't even get this many great pieces in 3 off seasons, and we get it in 1.
Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. I think if the players just got to play, I think Gordon has done everything. I mean, other than Neil Smith, Gordon could go down as the best GM just for this.
He took over 3 years ago, and he took over a team from Glenn Sather that was over the hill and was a disaster salary wise. With Dan Girardi, Mark Stahl, Rick Nash, Henrik Lundqvist, all on the cap for huge numbers. And the way he turned it around, trading Derek Stepan for a top 10 pick and D'Angelo, trading Brassard for Zibanejad, which is a trade that's often forgotten, Grabner for a second and Rykov. I mean, I can probably make a top 10 list of moves that he has made and look at it tomorrow and shuffle it around because there's so many great moves on that list.
Yeah. A lot of people.
But yeah, I mean, you know, Panarin has been in the league for 4 years. He has led the Columbus Blue Jackets in scoring twice and was second in points on the Chicago team twice behind Patrick Kane. He has scored I think his career low in the season is 74. Zibanejad is the only player not named Gaborik to hit 70 points in the last 12, 13 years for the Rangers. It's unbelievable. And since he joined the league in 2015, the New York Rangers have scored 4 hat tricks at Madison Square Garden. Panarin has scored 2. Let that sink.
I like that stat. Yeah.
It's crazy. But yeah, I mean, 11.6. I thought it was going to be 12 million or more. This is better than I had anticipated. And my favorite move of the day is probably trading Jimmy Vesey to Buffalo, the team he refused to sign.
Yeah, I know. I was telling my wife that.
That's karma. Sorry, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was funny for a 3rd round pick.
I really thought that was funny. And yeah, the 3rd round pick may not sound like much, but it's getting rid of that 2.7 million.
Right. That's why I think primarily they wanted to clear that. And they're gonna would have to, if they liked him, would have to pay him a little bit more down the line. But
yeah, and the 3rd round pick that they got is in next year's draft, right?
No, it's in
2 years.
2021.
Oh, okay.
21.
Okay.
So, and, I mean, 2021 is going to be a good season for the Rangers anyway because Stahl, Shattenkirk, Smith, and Lundqvist all come off the books that summer.
Free at last! Woo! Free at last!
That'll be 25 million in cap space. Yeah.
Wow.
Assuming they're all on the team for the next 2 years, of course.
I have a question, Steve.
All right.
Do you think Chris Kreider is going to be moved?
I think so. Yes. They had some offers for him at the draft. It just didn't work out. But teams are interested, especially now that Panarin is off the market. I think Kreider is the next best winger that is potentially available for teams. So a team like Colorado is probably interested in him. And yeah, the Rangers, if they're not committed to him, then why keep him? It's better to trade him now for a bigger return than to wait for the deadline.
Yeah, the deadline doesn't make sense. I think Jim brought that up on the last show. And plus, the Rangers are not going to be. Well, they're not selling off the team this deadline. And I think they either trade Kreider now is the most optimum time now. Like you said, you brought up that a lot of teams lost on Panarin. Well, they want to make their fan bases a little bit happy. They get a 28-goal scorer who can skate, a big guy. And they didn't rule it out in that presser they did. They talked about Kreider. Somebody asked them, and they were talking with Kreider and his agent. So I think that is a little bit of an indication that there may be some movement.
Yeah, and I think the last 16 months have been an indication of that already because Gorton, if he's not committed to a player long-term, he moves on from them. We saw it with McDonough, with Miller, with Hayes, with Zuccarello, and I think we'll see it with Kreider this offseason as well.
Yeah, and even Vesey to a lesser degree, lesser player, but, if they're not in their plans, they're moving on. And that's the way you got to do it. That's what I try to tell. People get so attached to these guys. But I try to say, listen, we had them. They had their moment. And for whatever reason, it didn't work out. They went
and I mean, Jimmy Vesey is that one player that, if you write down your lineup, he's always the player you forget. There's always one player you forget to write down. It's always Jimmy Vesey. So I'm pretty sure that in 2 years, most people will not even remember him.
Well, I think the fan base is pretty like 30% Vesey, pro Vesey, 70% against. Because he's a guy that, what does he do well?
Nothing.
Exactly.
He's a jack of all trades, master of none. That's basically him.
Yeah. I mean, he was cheap. You get you 15, so that's about it. Is he a goal scorer? No, we've seen many times where he can't put the puck in the net.
Yeah.
Is he a great passer? Is he good on defense? Does he kill penalties? No. Is he gritty? Is he in front of the net? No. I saw a little bit of more, but really just not expendable. He was an expendable player.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people had high expectations when he first came because he was so sought after.
I think that was unfair, though. The whole media hype surrounding him 3 years ago when he was a free agent coming out of college, with people like Susan Sarandon and Liam Neeson being used to, convince him to sign with the Rangers, that raised expectations to such a high degree that fans thought it was a top line player, and he never was. He was never projected to be one anyway.
Yeah, who was the other one? Who's that played the other babe there that's always at the games? Can I say babe? Is that politically correct?
You mean Margot Robbie?
Yeah. Margot Robbie, that broad.
Yeah, well, it's always fun to look at her.
Harley Quinn. Hubba. But, I think you're right. There was I had a famous Twitter war with Mike Harrington, who writes for Buffalo, who was
I followed that.
Yeah, he's a dope, and he was all upset that Vesey was getting such attention, and it may have been unwarranted that every scout was there to watch him and all that stuff, but it just, to me, it's I think you're right. I think he's the kind of guy that a lot of people aren't going to be following, like some other ex-Rangers. It's going to be like, oh, did we, and like you said, the 3rd round pick, not bad, and they dumped some salary.
It was a salary dump, and if you get a mid-round pick for it, that's not a bad deal. They basically got a 3rd round pick and Artemi Panarin for Jimmy Vesey and some cap space.
Right, and how upset are you that John Gilmore is no longer a Ranger?
Yeah, was he ever a Ranger? That for me, he was never really a Ranger. But I really hope he does well. I mean, for him, he was a 20-goal scorer in the AHL. Never had a chance with the Rangers. I think he signed with Buffalo.
Yes.
So, yeah, I mean, Buffalo never has the depth at the NHL level anyway. So maybe he has a chance to crack the lineup there. Who knows? But yeah, it's not a player that I will miss.
And you know what, Panarin, going back to him, he's only got 4 years under his belt. And now people look at the age. People look at the age and say, well, he's a little bit older, but he's heading into the prime of his career.
Yeah, he's 27 years old. He played 4 years in the NHL, and before that, he played in the KHL in Russia. And KHL hockey is completely different. It's more focused on finesse and passing and skating, and a lot less focused on power and hitting and physical play. So
I think you also told me there's not a lot of traffic in front of the net as well.
And they only play between 50 and 60 games instead of 82. So you could make an argument that you actually get a 25-year-old unrestricted free agent in Panarin, because there's just not that many miles on his body as a normal 27-year-old. I saw people bringing up Brad Richards, but he was 31 when we signed him. That's completely different from a 27-year-old player. We'll see. It's an exciting time to be a Rangers fan. And I mean, we drafted Kaapo Kakko last week. We signed Kravtsov. We traded for Trouba, and now we got Panarin. I'm just waiting to see what Gorton's next move is going to be. Because I'd almost be disappointed if he doesn't add another star next week, because that's been sort of the expectation now, as unrealistic as it may be. But this offseason has been, it's almost unreal.
What, in your estimation, I'm going to ask the chat room, I'm going to ask Jim, I'm going to ask you, Stephen Vogel. What's your estimation what a Chris Kreider trade would fetch? Since they really can't take on too much more salary, we assume it would be draft picks, future considerations, stuff like that.
I think Gorton has always been a GM that doesn't just look at draft picks. He also looks at maybe acquiring some younger NHL ready talent, like he did in the Broussard trade when he got Zibanejad, for instance. It just depends on which teams are interested. But if you can get 2, 3, or maybe 4 teams that are interested in Kreider right now, then you could maybe even look at a first-round pick and a prospect. I don't know the level of that prospect, but I'm pretty sure Gorton will find the right deal for him. And if they don't get the deal they want for him, they can just hold on to him and trade him in season or still at the deadline. And the Rangers can always retain 50% on his contract to make it even more appealing to some teams that are up against the cap. So it's difficult to say. But Kreider is probably the best free agent or the best available player out there. Especially now that Montreal's offer sheeted Sebastian Aho. That was so out of left field, and nobody saw that coming.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of a weak offer. I think Carolina's going to match that.
Oh, but I think it's brilliant because you offer him 5 years at $8.4 million. It's just underneath the point where the compensation would be 2 first-round picks. So you give Carolina the option: either you get a first, second, and third-round pick for him, or you sign him for 5 years, and he becomes an unrestricted free agent in 5 years when he's 28. So they force Carolina to make a move, and then in 3, 4, or 5 years, Carolina is forced to make a decision on Sebastian Aho when he's 28. So yeah, I just wish it happened more often because it's a very...
The GM, it causes a lot of bad blood, between the teams.
Yeah, okay, but I want July to be a war zone.
He wants to be a war zone. No, I know what you're saying. You're playing for keeps, but I get it. But and it's not like Carolina and Montreal have some heated rivalry anyway. So
no,
So Jim, what do you think? Where do you see Kreider? What do you think he's going to fetch? I see a lot of.
I think you can get a pretty top end prospect for him, and maybe a first or second round pick.
Okay. All right. Everybody's saying they're a number 1 and a high end prospect.
I think it's going to be either a second round pick and a good prospect, or a first round pick and a middling prospect. It's one of those 2 options. Because I don't think Kreider is valuable enough to get a first round pick and a top prospect.
All
right, Steve, we got to move along.
Thanks so much, man.
Go to bed.
Go to bed.
I will. All right.
You look good, though.
We'll talk to you soon.
You look good. You don't look
I was in Vancouver last week for the draft. It was amazing. It was one of the best experiences of my life as a Rangers fan. So,
yeah, that's great,
cool.
Man. You were there on a historic draft, man. Historic draft.
Exactly. And see if I can show it.
Look at it. Oh, there it is.
Very nice.
Signature.
There you go. Yeah.
Right.
It was amazing.
That's awesome, Steve.
All right.
All right. Take care, Steve. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, man. Bye.
Bye. All right. Great Steve Vogel. Let's bring Costa in. Costa, what's up? Look at him. Look at that. What the?
He's doing a wrestling
What is this? What is this? A presentation now?
Oh man. Oh God. Okay. Now, I understand what people are saying. This guy is not some over the hill bum we got. This guy is hopefully the real deal and not hype. But I'm still saying, if this don't pan out, we're like fucking morons. I'm telling you. In fact, let's put a Costa challenge up there. How about a little Costa challenge? Name your terms.
I don't know. What are your Jim? Jim? First of all, Jim in the chat room. What do you think is a reasonable expectation for the first year for Panarin? And then I'm going to go to Costa and see what he thinks. Do you think Panarin has a year like he had last year with the Blue Jackets, which was what? 20?
Now, who was his centerman?
I don't want to go into the minutia here. We're making a solid bet.
No. I'm talking a different. I'm talking about a real Costa Challenge. I mean, if we win the cup, that type of Costa Challenge.
Oh, the cup. You got to
Win the
rely
cup
on
the
one
first
guy to
year
win
he's
the
with
cup.
team.
What?
He's got to win the cup the first year he's with the team.
No, from the whole time he signed with the Rangers. If we win a cup,
Do I have to actually keep in contact with you for 7 years in order to win it? That's a lose-lose for both of us. That's a lose-lose for both of us.
a guy like me is going to live forever because I suffer, and that's the trade-off.
Costa, you'll never outlive the Panarin contract.
Yes. Listen.
Anyway, all right.
I think all right, but
You're gonna win.
Last year he had 27 goals, 61 assists. Is that what he had?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Something like that.
So
28 goals, 59 assists.
Okay, 28 goals, 59 assists. I say he matches that or better for next year. So what do you want to bet? Because I'm going to go on the positive. Because I know you're going on the negative.
To be honest, I would agree. I think he.
Man, what the hell are we talking about? If you're going to agree with me, what the hell are we making a bet?
I'm talking about a bet for the cup.
Joe Catroni just spit Foster Pazul all over his laptop screen watching this.
The cup. I'm not even thinking the cup yet. You mean in his tenure here that they win the cup?
Yes.
Quadriformati all over the screen.
I will guarantee they'll be in the cup, especially when 2021 comes around, when all these disgusting contracts are jettisoned. Hopefully, Sather is dead.
You know what's gonna happen when Sather dies.
What?
I want to be at the Garden during when they do the moment of silence and just go, na 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 na, hey, goodbye. And as they're kicking me out of the Garden, I'm gonna be like, Attica.
Costa's gonna wear a tuxedo.
I don't understand. You just don't want to pay him the money. It's the money. It's not the production.
Cobblepot.
You don't want this guy.
No, I don't want to pay. I don't know because again, we've been here before, and look where it got us.
So if he got $7 million, you'd take it. Would your worries be assuaged, to use a big college word?
I mean, 8, 9. I'd be like, okay, I'll bite my tongue and say, okay.
We have never been here before.
Costa first. Well, I'll let you.
We have never been here before.
Costa, what you got to do is imagine he's only getting $8-9 million. Just imagine he's getting $8-9 million, and you'll sleep much better because no one cares about the extra $3 million. They're going to be clearing cap space in when Lundqvist is gone, when Shatner and Smith. That $11 million will look like a bargain.
But you got to play Trouba because Trouba's going to want $7-8 million.
He deserves it.
But then we have no more cap space.
Kreider is going to be gone. That money.
If Kreider is gone, then I'm happy.
And somebody's getting. I'm almost positive somebody's getting bought out, and they're going to.
Whoever
doesn't get.
What should happen is Barry Smith in the A. And there goes, and then you just freed up 1.075 million in cap space. Same with Gillespie. Right. You've just freed up another 1.075 million in cap space. So
then what are you complaining about? You got ways to circumvent this. You got ways to pacify the cap.
I'm just worried that.
Don't worry. If he's a bust, he's a bust. We live with it. We suffer with it. You said your whole life is suffering. You're never going to die. I think it's going to be a boom. I think the Rangers have turned the corner. God made the Rangers go from 6th to 2nd. That was the indication that the worm had turned for the good.
When the Rangers, they signed their players, Costa goes to the bank and says his prayers, but don't worry.
Be happy.
Be happy.
Oh, God.
When they go, they get Panarin. I don't know what rhymes with Panarin, but don't worry.
Okay, that's good. That's got to be the new song, the new bit, the new comedy bit.
Oh.
You, sir, need to calm down. You will be watching Ranger playoff hockey this year. You will. Well, you don't watch playoff hockey. Let me scratch that.
Shut the fuck
Right.
up.
You better be watching 2 years after.
Now.
Do you realize what
All right.
Kakko's going to do? Kakko is going to destroy the NHL.
My concern is, now it's obviously going to be Zibanejad, Panarin, and whomever on the first line. Whether it's
Kakko.
Is it going to be Kakko or is it going to be Kravtsov?
It's going to be Kakko.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Come on. And that second line ain't going to be bad either.
Yeah.
I mean, and I like Hedl at center. I think Hedel's a good.
You think Howdy could be your 2C?
No.
Okay.
I think he's fourth or third right now. Ryan Strome right now is in the mix to be their second line center. But I
could see that.
I mean, he had a good year with the Rangers. I don't know. I mean, it's a hope and a prayer that he repeats it. But remember,
at this point, we fleeced Edmonton.
We fleeced everybody this offseason. We got everything we wanted, and you're still frenzying.
Because it's just the money.
I know. You don't like the pressure. You don't like the bust. Today is Bobby Bonilla Day, where
Pavel Buchnevich is another left wing.
Yeah, they got left wings up the yin yang.
Yeah. Got more.
I know. There's no reason we shouldn't be a playoff team. No reason in hell we shouldn't be a playoff team.
We're young. There could be some growing pains. These guys are not going to come in and just
Imagine if we don't make the playoffs. Imagine the uproar.
Well, get more draft picks. One of my friends says we should try to tank again. I was like, I don't think you can tank when you got $12 million guys on the roster and an aging goaltender who's ready for retirement.
Only reason we don't make the playoffs if the injury bug kicks the shit out of us.
Well, there's always that. And I mean, it's been known to happen. But Costa, just calm down. Enjoy it. You'll be yelling bread man. I can't wait to see the little bread man messages.
Younger to the viewing parties.
Yeah.
Be one of his tchotchkes, a loaf of Wonder Bread.
Yeah. He could have, but if he's not doing so good, it could be like a Wonder Why bread. Like, what am we sign this idiot? This money.
Why did they sign this guy? I wonder.
Yeah, it'll be like
I'll put some stale bread at the viewing parties.
What is it?
What
is it, $1 million a point here? He's got 11 points, like 60 games in. You know, I mean, no, but we got to look. Come on, guys. We got to look at listen, we have been. They have shoved some really bad hockey down our throats the last 2 years. You should be ecstatic that they've made a turn this quick. This doesn't happen. I mean, again, the players have to play, but all the chess pieces have been aligned. We're in a checkmate situation where the rebuild is now a build. It's not complete, but it's a build. And I think JD too. I love this guy.
No homo, of course.
Yeah, no homo, of course. But I love the dude. I mean, I think he's it's just a bright.
How many cups he gets us first before we
right. I don't want to anoint the guy, but I just think
homo or not.
It's exactly. It's just
everything's up for debate.
Yeah. So, I just think it's a new era of the Rangers, and we got to put all that dark sadness behind us of disappointment and just be hopeful. That's all. I mean, you just can be hopeful. I mean, I named the whole video series Ranger Crisis. There's going to be plenty of Ranger Crises coming our way, so it never ends. So I don't even want to say the things I'm thinking, but it might happen. We just got to get rid of some of this garbage that's just been these albatrosses that are just.
I still say we buy the Three Stooges out next season before the expansion draft, so we can protect 3 more players. That's just me.
All right. Well,
because I do not want to get rid of any. Well, Kako's not going to be exposed. Kratzov's not going to be exposed. I don't know. I hope Trouba's not
worried about this now.
What?
Enjoy the day. Carpe diem. Will you? Costa diem. Enjoy the day. It's a good day to be a Ranger fan.
To be a Ranger fan.
Got the Seattle expansion draft. Then behind that, you'll be worried about the Kansas City expansion draft. And then you'll be worried about the Islanders disaster draft. And enjoy the day.
Enjoy the Islanders got nothing.
Enjoy the day. Right.
The Islanders got nothing. The Devils got Wade Simmons for 1 year. Like, he doesn't kill us enough. Now he's got to be in our division.
He was already in our division with the Flyers, really.
Yeah. I said again. I said again. And then you got, I mean,
what's the name's a bum?
Who?
The Varlamov. That guy's a bum.
He's terrible. He's hurt all the time, and he's declining. He was splitting time over there in Colorado. So I mean, they got problems.
And now Lou's the senile old man too.
Senile Lou. He's such a juggernaut of GMs. That guy. Look at. I mean, really, they spent hours. He's got multiple things going. What? He disenfranchised his captain by waiting to the 11th hour to sign him because they were out of the Panarin thing. They should have known as soon as Panarin toured that freaking the Smithtown Auto Group over there that there was no way they were. Who Panarin.
Who's their captain? Who's their fucking
Anders Lee. They didn't want to sign him because they were waiting on Panarin. So then they waited till like 5 o'clock, and then they announced, "All right, Anders, we'll sign you because we're out. We can't." So
he's gonna play good this season.
Right, exactly. And Jim said it. He's Plan B. Plan B. Anders, your Plan B. Plus,
watch that guy coast all season.
I would.
Yeah.
That's who you want as your captain. You treat him like that. Dumb.
So who's going to be speaking of which, who's going to be captain this season?
That's a good question. Jim, answer it.
Or go all A's again?
Tony DeAngelo. Vinny Lettieri.
You can't give a serious answer, folks.
Of course not.
Give it to Mika.
Mark Stahl.
No.
Mika. No, it should be Mika. It really should be.
Mika played his ass off every game last year. Every game on a shit team. That guy busted his ass. He scored big goals. He finally got us a legit center, 70 points. What? First since Phil Esposito? No, who was it that got the 70
points? Or more recent.
Steve said it. I forgot who it was. Mike Rogers? No.
Mike Rupp?
Mike Rupp? No. Anyway, so the Rangers are. I don't know. It's just.
It's not. I'm not hopeful. I mean, I'm like this team's a playoff team now. Again, the only reason why this team's not a playoff team is the injury bug kills us. That's just my opinion.
Well, the goaltending,
and you got to tug on Hank. Hank cannot play a lot of games. 50 games max.
You cannot have a goaltender. If you want a playoff team, you can't have a goaltender that has a save percentage in the under 900 or 905 or anything like that. He's got to be better. You want that stinking cup, Swede? You go get it. You play your ass off. Stop stick handling. Stop dropping your stick. Close that 5-0. Stop giving up those late goals. Stop yelling at your teammates. Stop banging your stick. Save the puck. You got one thing to do. You want that
Stop throwing your teammates under the bus.
Yep. Go and get it. Or you can get Georgie Boy in there.
Or the Czar.
Or the Czar, but the Czar, I don't know. The Czar's been kind of bizarre from what I've been listening to but I don't know.
But here's the thing. You could send Georgiev down to the minors. He's waiver exempt. Okay. I mean, again, I
don't think Shesterk he's got to get used to the NHL style rink.
You can't send him into the minors. You can't do that.
You gotta. He's got to get used to the rink size. I mean, he's got to. I know you don't want to ruin him but Hartford retooling, right, Jim? They got
right.
2 players today.
Right.
Which guys
Greg
are those?
McKegg.
Greg McKegg?
Greg McKegg,
And
nephew of Leapin' Louis Fontinato.
Can you believe that? The nephew of
Ranger bloodlines.
Leapin' Lou Fontinato, a tough customer back in the old days for the Rangers.
Face rearranged by Gordie Howe. All right, we got to go.
All right.
We'll talk. We'll talk more whenever.
All right, toodles.
Ciao.
Wow. We got Greg McKegg and Mrs. O'Leary's daughter, so we got some Irishmen.
Joe,
showing your patriotism.
Jim.
The house is getting empty behind him. Look at that.
It is.
The
shelves are empty, except for the popcorn thing that he's trying to sell on Facebook. The popcorn decanter back there. Somebody buy that thing. Look, there's 40 people watching this show right now. Somebody make Joe an offer. He wants
just buy him. I'll send it to you for free.
What is he selling?
He's got
that's my business.
Kit back there. That's my business.
Popcorn kit. What I wish I hadn't. I wish I had seen Costa's performance before I sent an email to a guy named Dan Rosen earlier. He's going to be like, I looked at that show. Yeah, I ain't coming on. Sorry.
Dan Rosen appreciates comedy. He looks like a man who appreciates comedy.
Yeah, we have a connection. I shot him an email, actually.
Oh, you do?
I do, yeah.
Wow, I was pretty impressed with his Ranger knowledge during that Fakak the NHL Network thing with EJ Raddick.
Well, he covers the Rangers. I mean, I think he's based in New York.
NHL.com.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, he's the NHL.com guy.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we have mutual friends. So I
look at you big wig.
Asked him if I could approach him. So we'll see.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll try to catch him before the summer.
That'd be great. That'd be great. So, I mean, this is historic, Joe.
Oh, yeah, man, this is a hell of a run we're on. We can't beat this, right?
I know we can't because we're celebrating every week.
Yeah, it's like
I've had like 4 celebrations and we haven't won shit yet.
Steve was saying it's like every week. It's like Christmas. I'm like, it's like Hanukkah.
Right, exactly. I was going to say, or Hanukkah.
7 weeks of off season.
It's like Kwanzaa every week.
Yeah. It's going to probably come down to get to a screeching halt soon, and then we go through the summer. But hell, man, we're already to July 1st. We're only about 10 weeks out from training camp.
Ooh.
So
I literally got chills just thinking about that. That's how much I love hockey.
I know, me too.
It's just I just love it so much. And now finally, I feel like I'm so invigorated. I can't wait to see these guys. And And I like the concept of a young team. We haven't had the concept of that for so long, if ever. Just young forwards.
Yeah, we've never had it. I mean, in 2 years, between, if they last that long, between Lundqvist, Shattenkirk, Stahl, and who am I missing?
Smith.
And Smith. I mean, we're going to have a team of 30 and under. Like, Panarin will be the oldest guy on this team, right?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, I guess so. He's going to be 28 in, I think, September that I read. So in 2 years, he'll be 30. Yeah, that was unbelievable today because I did not expect that. Up until yesterday, I thought it was going to be Florida, and then last night wasn't sounding so great. And I'm like, well, okay, we're fine if it happens, it happens, like you said. And then this morning, I was watching TSN, and they were talking about it, and he said New York Rangers. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, man. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is really going to happen. It's really going to happen. Yeah.
It looked like it was pretty much they talked to him. He wanted to play in a big market. He wants to be seen.
Yeah.
I think even the Rangers getting Capo Caco kind of even got him more jazzed because you see a young player like that you have an opportunity, a fellow Russian, to play with. Not a Russian, sorry, because Kako's a Finn, right? But a young, dynamic player, you're like, wow, I want to play with that guy. I want to be on a team that's going in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, you got to figure he did his research, and having JD probably helped, even though he downplayed.
JD he did kind of downplay it.
Yeah, he did downplay it a little bit, but I mean, listen, New York, as we all know, we're all from there. We all know what it's like. It's not for everybody. It's not for everybody, whether you're an athlete or a regular Joe, right? But I mean, it's funny because we're talking about this, and I'm not a basketball guy, but it's almost really unavoidable the last day of what's gone on, I guess, with Brooklyn and all that stuff. And somebody they were talking about, I think they had one of their former players is retired, but they were saying that he's like, Madison Square Garden is no longer just the draw. He's like, it's way more than that. And, there's other arenas, and it's great to be able to play at the Garden. It's a good place to play, but that's not the end all. And he was referring to the Knicks, right? But then you go to the complete other side of the spectrum with hockey, and maybe the Garden was the tipping point for a guy like Panarin. Who knows? Even though the ice isn't that good.
The ice isn't great. The fans, I mean, the real fans are kind of removed from the front. But the city has such an attraction. I mean, it's electric. And I'm a big proponent of New York City. To me, I've been all over this country. I've been to almost every major city. And Chicago has a little bit of it. But New York is so electric and so special, especially with the diversity and there's something to do. It's just the lights, the whole thing. It's just magical. Yeah. And a kid like this sees this and he's like, I want to play here.
And if they ask any athlete that's won championships, and they'll tell you there's no place like New York when you win a championship.
They never forget you. You will be.
Look at the Mets 50th year. Just by the way, see how they knocked off two of their former players. They had to apologize for killing two people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
They had some tribute video, and they were going through the guys, the players who have passed, and they included two guys that are still living. That's the Mets.
That's so bad. I mean,
so
Will Ponds is just. I mean, it's a.
Don't even stop. I fucking hate those two guys. They kill it. Let's talk about something positive. Panarin is on Instagram. I'm not an Instagram guy, but I caught somebody talking about it on Twitter, so I jumped on. And he's decided he's letting the fans vote on what number he's going to wear on his sweater.
Oh.
He's between 10 and 27.
Take Mike McEwen or Ron Dugazel. Ron Duguay. We should have Ron on this show.
27.
Yeah, I voted 10.
You like 10?
I do.
Why don't you like 10?
Too many 10.
Was Tikkanen 10?
Tikkanen was 10. Gabrick was 10.
Bruce was 10. Duguay was 10. JT Miller was 10. Had a lot of 10s.
Yeah,
Well, you're going to have a lot of 10s. I've been around for 80 years.
Well,
and the first 7 numbers
I haven't
are
had that many 46s, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
80 years. I've been longer than that. Oh, Gabby.
100.
Yeah, Gabrick was 10.
I said, yeah.
Rick was 10.
He put the puck in the net.
Yes.
Yeah, this team is this is a whole. I mean, you go back just a couple of years, and the cupboard was bare, right? And we were hanging our hats on if the Ryan Grops of the world were gonna make it, right? And now he's so far down the list. I mean, you got Kako and Anderson and Kravtsov and Nieves.
Why you keep including Boo Nieves in these prospect things?
Because Boo, you got to give Boo a chance, man. Come on.
Give Boo a chance.
Brother,
We are saying
is give Boo a chance.
Hey, he hasn't played himself.
Wait, here we go. Do it again.
All we are saying is give Boo a chance.
That's right.
No.
He has,
We are saying
It's give Boo. Whatever. It'll all shake out the way. But yes, it's a joyous day to be a Ranger fan.
yeah.
he's not fit to carry Caco's socks.
Yeah.
Jock. Caco's Jocko.
Right.
The defense is just as stacked, man. I mean, if these kids, even if we only hit on a couple of them, we're in good shape between Fox and Lindgren, Miller, Hajek, Rykov, Lundqvist. What's going on with Sean Day? Is he on his is this?
Yeah, he's got about as much potential as Susan Day.
Right.
That'll be in the post show notes, by the way.
How about Crowley?
That'll be Larry Brooks' column.
Didn't Brandon Crowley play for us last year, or am I dreaming?
I don't. Yes, I think he did play.
Did he play? Didn't he make his NHL debut last year?
And probably his NHL.
Probably his last.
I think Day Blue was more appropriate.
Those last 15 to 20 games were just a DVR fast forward. And somebody scored. Somebody scored. Yes. We're going onward and upwards, Joseph, and I'm going to tell you something right now. I predict big things for the New York Rangers. Oh my God! I'm going to have a dream tonight about the Cup.
You think they're going to make the playoffs next year?
Oh yeah.
47 wins.
Depends on the goaltending. Depends on the goal. I don't think you can get by with a guy with a 3.1 goals against and a 900 save. It's not getting you in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Hank has got to play better.
Yeah.
And Georgiev's got to play the same.
That's going to be a tough division.
And I know it sucks in Hartford, but Shesterkin's got to go down there and learn the NHL game.
Yeah.
Hartford's going to be an oasis next year, Joe.
Oh, please. You got to
It's going to be the garden spot of the AHL. Watch. JD's going to make it all right.
I hope so.
So far, so good. Just his presence.
And we got Greg McKegg.
Greg McKegg.
To name that child Greg.
Yeah, I know.
Knowing your last name's McKegg.
I know.
Louis Fontanato's nephew.
That's it. That's a beauty.
Frosty says William Frawley will be acquired from Fred and Ethel fame. And also wasn't William Frawley? Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was also Bub in My Three Sons.
Yes.
That'll also be in the post-show notes for you millennials or whatever they call them nowadays.
We're gonna be coming down from this sugar high now next week. After we get through July, we're gonna be, oh man, no Rangers news.
Yeah.
Although, right?
Chris
You
Kreider.
guys talking about the other night? I think Jim was talking about it, about the Broussard-Zibanejad trade. That was like August.
Yeah.
It was actually late. It was late July. Cutter, of course, had to correct.
Oh, Cooks, yeah.
It was late
But
July.
still, I mean, when everybody's taking vacations, basically, you know.
Gorts never sleeps.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's good stuff.
Very, very good. I'm so happy. I'm going to sleep well tonight.
Yes.
I like you. I did not think this was going to happen.
I didn't either. Yeah, I really thought from the get-go it was going to be Florida, but it's awesome.
All right,
boys.
Indeed.
Work on your
All right,
dad.
Joe. We'll talk to you soon.
We'll edit the part out with Costa so he comes on the show.
All right, boys.
Take care, my friend.
All right, ciao.
All right, let's talk to Connor real quick, and then we can wrap this up. Connor Bobana, Fee Fi Fofana, Me My Mofana. Connor, thank you for waiting. What's going on?
Of course, we got him.
That's right.
We got our Truba check, Panarin check. We got Kako check. As far as I'm concerned, all we gotta do is stick a stake through Glenn Sather and send JD down to Hartford with a flamethrower, and this rebuild will be complete.
Wow.
That's true. I agree. Well, I could say looks like they're operating without anything like Glenn Sather.
It's like District 9 right now.
Yes, and that's a reference. And you got the Hartford thing has to be addressed. I think it's being addressed. I would love to see them get out of that building because it's the same building that the Whalers played in, and it's just very depressing atmosphere. Hartford in general is not really a thriving town. What's the background? Can you please lower your radio so we're getting a lot? I always want to say that.
All right, go ahead.
All right. I was going to say that I would love to see them come into New York, in the suburbs or upstate somewhere. But we'll see what happens. JD's here and everything's okay.
We got the Wonder Twins right here.
Murder She Wrote over there or something.
All I can say is
we watch our lives, the DVR.
Perfect. Well, all I can say is, who needs Sather when you have the Wonder Twins available?
This is like talking to Howard. Like a calamity in the background over there.
Yeah, really? What's going on? The kid's locked in the bathroom. Who's that one guy who was locked in the bathroom or the laundry room with his kid or something?
Laundry room Pat.
Laundry room Pat. Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. He just disappeared. He showed up at like one viewing party. Laundry room Pat.
Yeah.
He used to go hide in his laundry room so he could call us and smoke because his wife didn't like him smoking. So he used to hide in his laundry room. He would call the show and he would have his cigarettes.
And Connie, you never know where he's going to be. He's in the state capitol. He's in his living room. He's watching.
All over the place. Yeah,
all over the place. This guy. He travels well.
I'm the Andy Pat version of Where's Waldo.
Right. Right. He's like Carmen San Diego.
Yes. Where's Andy Pettit?
Where in the world is Connie?
So I know you're ecstatic. I know you're hopeful. Let me just ask you this question: do you see the Rangers being a playoff team this year?
Yes. I mean, I figure the Penguins took a step back and the Islanders took a step back, so that's two right out. So I figure there is some availability for the Rangers to move up.
Brian Zelenka wants to know: is an Avon meeting going on at your house? He's trying to hold it in. Oh, the comedy never stops from the chat room. Jim, can you put that link up for the subscription thing again for the YouTube channel? Kana, I know, has signed up. I saw him come across my board.
I gotta find it again.
Mike Smith just got signed by
Edmonton.
Edmonton.
Yeah. So, yeah. So, yeah, I don't think Mike Smith's going to go anywhere. But the Rangers, listen, I think they're going to make the playoffs if the players play as they play. I like David Quinn. That's another thing. We got the coach. We got the GM. Again, I'm not talking like we're going to be ready to contend for the cup, but things are heading in a very unusual, very good trajectory for the New York Rangers.
There's the YouTube thing.
Thank you so much, Jim.
Anytime.
Get to that YouTube channel, you dummies. Sign up. We got to become, I said we must become the apex predator of podcasts. We must be at the top. You want to go to these other stupid podcasts, taking the summer off while all this action? Get out of here.
How dare you?
How dare you, sir? But, all right, Connor, we got a boogie.
All right.
Take care, my friend.
Take care.
Hey, can you pick me up some skin? I need some baby soft skin products.
For your beard comb.
I need some beard balm, some Avon beard balm. Can you pick me some up there? Take care,
what I can do. Take care, Jim. Don't kill the cat yet.
Jen's gonna kill the cat.
All right, can I just leave off one more note?
Yeah,
sure.
All right, I have a proposal for the Costa Challenge.
Here we go.
All right, if the Rangers make the playoffs and Panarin scores at least 30 goals, then we see him do a cartwheel live.
No.
Christ. They'd win another 4 cups before you get that man to get a cartwheel.
No, first he's got to hurt himself.
Put him in a wheelbarrow.
He couldn't jump from a stool without breaking his tibia. You want him to do a cartwheel? I mean, I don't want to hurt the man. No physical thing.
Okay.
Hit him where it hurts, Connor. Hit him where it hurts.
What the hell is going on over there?
What the hell?
All right. Take care, guys.
He's got to go. He's so embarrassed.
They're renovating. What are they doing? What are you putting an addition on the house while you're doing a show?
You playing indoor bowling over there?
Oh,
somebody going to pick up a spare? I don't know. I've never seen him so red. Look at him.
All right. We'll talk to you later, Connor. We love you. Bye.
Mom just picked up a spare in the kitchen bowling over there. I don't know what's going on. What the hell?
What goes on in that house at night?
Ray just got Panarin. Wow. Is that kid living in a house of mirrors? Somebody.
All right. Mike Halleck, I know you're on hold. I'm sorry. We got to wrap up. We were hoping to be done a little while ago, but we ran long. We'll catch you. We'll put you on first next time while you're driving. It's more fun that way. Way we get extra degree of difficulty. Jen said that Donna's playing frisbee with the dishes.
Yes. Frosty sounds like a Greek wedding. Oompa!
Like a Lucy skit going on at Connor's house.
Woo! Panarin, baby! Ah!
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, I don't know what to do. Yes.
What a fun bunch.
Well, I'm telling you, everybody's in a great mood tonight. And I love it.
Whining.
All right, boys and girls.
All right. That will wrap up another edition of the Blue Shirt Underground Show with Jim and Eddie. Thank you to all of you that were here tonight. Record-setting crowd. We like that. You guys are the best. 50 of you at one point. 700 comments. Holy crap.
It was a chat storm.
It was. All right. We'll see you guys soon. We love you. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. Make sure you like us on Facebook. Make sure you sign up on patreon.com/Blueshirt Underground. Eddie, always a pleasure. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun. It's going to get the season. Now I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be so much fun covering the Rangers.
Absolutely. All right. Happy 4th of July to all of you. Happy birthday, America. We love
call it Independence Day where I'm from.
That's right. All right. Good night, everybody.